Hello, I'm Nick Hennegan. No, I am, honest. Yeah, I've checked. Yeah. And welcome to the very first 5 minutes on the way to the Edinburgh Festival. And it's going to be talking about going to the Edinburgh Festival, which is, you may well know, the biggest open arts festival in the world. Open means that it's not looked after by anyone. It's not curated by anyone. The Fringe, anyway. People can just turn up as long as you can find the venue. And if you've not done it before, then you might want to sort of subscribe to this or listen to it or watch it. I'm using a webcam, so the sound's not the best. So I'm just saying that because I know people that work on radio stations. And because I do a radio show myself on Resonance 104.4 FM called Literary London, which goes out every week. And in fact, you can hear most of the shows that I do on these various channels. I'm not sure where you're listening to it now. In fact, I'm not even sure where I'm going to put this. It'll be on our YouTube channel, I'm sure. It'll be on bohemianbritain.com. Bohemian Britain is a fairly new thing, and in fact, if you're interested in Edinburgh, go and have a look at that, because the Edinburgh Festival, of course, it's celebrating its 75th year this year. Is it 75th or 70th? I can't remember. I should have checked. It's been around for a while. And the Festival Fringe, which is what most people mean when they say the Edinburgh Festival, because the Edinburgh Festivals is made up of numerous festivals. The Film Festival used to run as well at the same time, but they got a bit snooty and they moved. But during the month of August, Edinburgh Festivals happen, the International Festival, and what most people know of the festival is actually the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. My experience of that was I wrote, in fact, if you can see behind me here, if you're watching this on YouTube or on our new video podcast, which I think we can do, get me. It was called Henry V's Line of England, and it was a one-person version of Shakespeare's Henry V, and not a comedy. And I thought I'd do it myself, although I actually got a mate in from Amdram, Rob Vomit, as he was affectionately known. There's a reason for that, I might tell you later. Rob Stanson. In fact, Rob Brown's his real name. Rob Stanson was his stage name. And he came to do a reading for me so I could hear what I'd written. By the time we got to Half Fleur, I'd sort of started pacing him around my sitting room at home, and by the time we got to the siege at Half Fleur, rather I should say, by the time we got to Agincourt, I'd moved all the furniture out, so he did it, and we did it for one night at the Midlands Arts Centre, the brilliant Midlands Arts Centre in Birmingham, at the Mac, in the little Hexagon Theatre, which is actually a puppet theatre, so it's pretty small. I think it seats about 80. I had no idea how to produce a show, but the Mac were great to work with, and I think I hired this thing for one night for 50 quid, which included a technician, which is just as well, because we hadn't got a clue how anything of that works. And we did this show, and I thought no one would turn up, but it sold out, mainly, I suppose, me bribing friends and family and friends of Rob, and Rob Williams. Robbie Williams, the musician, not that Robbie Williams, another mate of mine who composed all the music. Henry V Line of England's very musical. There's a lot of explosions and bangs. It's not a comedy, you see. One man has to fight the Battle of Agincourt. It's not a comedy. Rob wrote his incredible scores, and he's written music for all my shows ever since. And at the end of the night, at the end of the performance, it lasted about 90 minutes. I thought everyone was running to get out the door, and it was a standing ovation. And in the bar afterwards, it was one of those lovely stories where a chap came up to me and he said, "Oh, it was really rather good." Oh, that's my email, by the way. I should have turned it off, shouldn't I? That doesn't matter. It's only me and you. He said, "That was rather good. We'd like to take you to the Edinburgh Festival." I mean, what? What's the Edinburgh Festival? Anyway, we went up there, and if you've not been there, it is a huge experience. Every single square inch becomes a performance space. And because it's an open festival, so anyone can go, you see some brilliant things, and you can see some absolutely rubbish things. And that's kind of part of its glory. Starwood arranged everything for us, accommodation. As a performer, if you're thinking of going up, it is expensive, and we'll talk about costs in another 5 minutes time. It is expensive. If you've not been up and you're a performer and you just want to go and have a look, then it's still expensive, but it's well worth the experience. And so we did this show. We went to the Edinburgh Festival. We were at a place called Marco's, which I don't think is there anymore. This was 1992. Yes. And fortunately, it went rather well. In those days, there were no star ratings for theatre productions, but we got lots of tour de force, a theatrical tour de force. So we go, another tour de force review. It went quite well for us. Henry V then went to America. It went around the world. More importantly, it gave me the idea for the Maverick Theatre Company to do Fringe Theatre in Birmingham, but that's another story. And I'll tell you a bit more about the steps we've taken to get to Edinburgh. I'll probably do this every week, shall I? It'll only be 5 minutes. Talking of which, we're at 4 minutes 50 now. So I'll see you next time. Please comment if you've got any questions, or subscribe, or whatever you can do. And I'll see you next time. Ta-da.